And some of the papers in Europe were the most fascinating. There's a I can't pronounce it, but it's a paper. It's in Aalborg, Denmark. It's the most, the Danes being great on design. It's the most elegant newsroom I've ever set foot in. Very, very stylish and lavish. But they have a desk. Their main news desk it has 9 different disciplines at it, and the drill is they've got a print, web, TV, photo, graphics, mobile, and there's 3 I can't remember. But anyway, they sit in this sort of L-shaped pod in the middle of the newsroom, and if you have a story breaking that day, you basically got to serve those 9 people, and it's a lot different than just coming in and talking to your assignment or writing up a story, calling it a day. On that kind of operation, the TV people might want you for camera. The mobile editor might want you to pop out a blurb. You might have to blog on it for the website, and that requires a new set of skills and a lot more, energy and effort devoted to suddenly having to do 5 things a day instead of just 1, and that's a challenging thing to have to tackle. Papers in Germany had a completely different approach. They had taken the company who visited there is Axel Springer, which is sort of the News Corp of Germany, the biggest publisher. They took 4 big dailies around the country and smushed their news stats into 1. They went from about 700 editorial employees. They canned half of them and scaled it down to 350 and produced the journalism in the middle, and then farmed it out to the different feeders. And the Germans being the Germans, they took their top 60 editors and basically lined them up at 3 cafeteria tables. It was the tables, the chairs, and the computers. That was it. Everybody from the managing editor down to the sports editor, they sat in 1 straight line, and they moved that thing like a Mercedes factory. It was an interesting and kind of scary thing to watch. And then in London, one of the days we spent was at the Daily Telegraph, which was like going through all the same issues. We really had declining circulation, and the web traffic was so-so. But they created a week-long training program that we were going to attempt to mimic here at some point, and they had 600 editorial employees, and they put every single person in their newsroom through this week-long class. Monday you had to learn how to post for the web. Tuesday you had to learn how to blog. Wednesday you had to learn how to shoot and edit video. Thursday you had to learn to do audio, and on Friday you came into the class and they threw a story at you, and you had 8 hours to post it in multiple formats all day long, and then they kicked you out of class the next day and said, okay, go do this every day now. And they spent, I mean, that's a significant amount of time to have, your people offline, not working on the paper or the website, and it took them about 4 months to train the entire staff, but lo and behold, a year later, their circulation rose 6%, and their web advertising revenue was up something like 60, because there was so much content, and readers had noticed that their site was going crazy, that they had to visit it, multiple times a day, which is a sort of a home run. So it was interesting just in Europe to see different cultures tackling the same problem different ways, and in the States, the Arizona paper's got an interesting sort of a hub and spoke, like an airline operation. It's called AZ Central is their website. And the Arizona Republic newsroom, they have a main paper that goes to, like us, a largely older, more affluent crowd, and then they've got suburban daily editions that they kick into the big suburbs in Phoenix that are very targeted and have lots of local news. And they have something called the Sparky Team, which is a group of 15 kids right out of college whose job is to feed that website with news all day long, and that's all they do. And so that's kind of an interesting setup. And then you've got something like the Washington Post, which has got one of the best websites, and they're completely different from the rest of their website's in Virginia, which is not in Washington, D.C. It's a couple miles down the road, and they've sort of operated somewhat independently. The Post, although if you're a good media watcher, a few weeks ago, the new publisher of the Post, Catherine Weymouth, is going to start to combine the two. I don't know if they'll do it physically or not, but they're going to try to get leverage the Post's great reporting staff and do a lot more stuff on the web. So that's sort of I guess I'm starting to get talked out. So that's sort of the view from here. But I left out probably lots of specifics y'all might have questions about. So happy to take questions.
Let me come on up here. That was a good overview.
Let me ask a couple, and then let's take some from you. So, thinking of what Russ was talking about, you have a rather unusual, interesting owner in Sam Zell right now. A rather colorful individual. Of course, he's now given sort of this famous speech to the Washington Bureau where he kind of indicated that they might not feel as important as they thought they were, and that maybe they might consider transferring to Orange County. And I just wonder if you had any thoughts on that and on the importance of local news, or do you feel like local news is really the driver for the Times?
Our readership studies have told us this for years, and we just haven't, I don't think we've probably done a good job listening. They love our foreign and national report, and they say that over and over again. And what they tell us about local is we want that same report for Southern California. So I think local news is a big driver. Some of the cutbacks that we've made over the years were done more to the local staff than the foreign and national ones. I probably wouldn't have done that, and so it's my job now is to figure out how to redeploy some of our folks to do that, which isn't to say that we're going to move half of our Washington, D.C. report to Orange County. Sam is I've met him twice. He is their methods are unorthodox, but their results have been pretty hard to argue with in almost every business they've entered. And he has an unbelievable reputation as a businessman. And the thing that I'm really intrigued about, and I'm trying to keep our folks focused on the bigger picture with this, is there hasn't been anybody in our industry who's figured out how to get out of this mess yet. And I think that folks who have made billions of dollars over and over and over again, and everything from cardboard boxes to buildings to freight cars, they're going to see the world a little bit differently than we are. I don't think that's a bad thing.
How hands-on is he? Is he calling you, or do you think he may be calling you? Or
no, we are one of 10 or 11 businesses he owns around the globe. So the last time I talked to Sam was on February the 12th, which was 2 days before I was named editor. I think he just wanted to make sure I didn't blow in the dark. I haven't heard from him since. They're not hands-on meddler types. But they have a big sense of urgency because the deal that they put together at the end of December, the fundamentals have changed pretty radically, and they are rightfully concerned about that. So the faster we get to innovating, the happier they're going to be.
And I noticed too that after you came back from the retreat with your top editors that you talked about, there of course, it seems like every memo you get ends up on LA Observe. Have you ever written a memo that didn't end up on LA Observe?
I've actually had several.
Oh, good. One of them, it talked about some of the things you said, here's what we need to do better, here are the things that we need to do, and here's some things we shouldn't do. And one of the things I noticed was we shouldn't be arrogant. And I just wonder if you felt like, given your background coming from Tulare, do you feel the Times has been too arrogant as a newspaper?
It was interesting how we arrived at those. There were, if I remember the memo correctly, there were 3 things that I decided we wanted to keep. One of the exercises we did on the retreat was to list what is it about the paper that we want to keep. What are the things we like about us, and what are the things we'd like to lose about us. And people threw up a bunch of things on a board, and there were 20, well, there's about 30 of us in the room, and we were then given stickers and said, go put up. Everybody got set number stickers. Go put up things that you want to see keep, and put stickers by the things you want to see us lose. So this group of 26 editors, which is everybody in the masthead, every section of the paper was there. Those are the things they put the stickers by. I think that I guess it doesn't. I don't know if we're arrogant or not. People think we're arrogant, so it doesn't really matter whether we think we are or not. Other people think that we are or have been over the years, and I think that what we need, one of the things we're working hard at, and we talked about at the retreat a lot, was we need to do a better job of listening to what the feedback that we get. And one of the sessions we talked about, there's like a dozen ways readers communicate and deal with us every day, and we only capture like 3 or 4 of them. And we need to round all that information up, and we need to have somebody looking at it and analyzing it. And there will be things in there that will make us a better paper and allow us to do better stories as a result of that.
How hard is it to be? I mean, I would think you'd be are you running into a ton of resistance to change in-house, or do you think everyone's pretty open to the idea?
Well, in my job a year ago, that was, little did I know, was a great prep school class.
And little did they know that you'd become their boss.